Good morning. Welcome to Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your guest host, Diana Rich, joined in the studios by our producer, Nick Steffens.
Good morning.
Happy Friday, Nick.
It is a happy Friday.
Yeah.
Actually, never mind. I take that back. I have an update on the headlight lamp thing.
Okay.
So I went and bought, it's a Buick, so I got an H11 headlight bulb because that's what it's supposed to take.
Yeah.
Then when I got to fixing it, it turns out that the owner before me put on BMW lights, and so it's not the right headlight bulb. And so I had to spend another $35 and go back to Walmart.
So is it fixed?
No, because I was too cranky to go to Walmart.
All right. Well, I'm having a happy Friday, so I hope yours turns around. Our publisher is Matt Bryant, and later on the show, our guest will be Don Kline, a board member for Friends of Lake Darling. So looking forward to learning about Friends of Lake Darling organization and what they provide for the state park Lake Darling down in Brighton. So we'll learn more about that soon. Right now, we'll jump into the weather. 35 degrees and partly cloudy. I think, is it supposed to snow still?
No, and I feel bad because on Newsbreak I said every day that there was supposed to snow and rain, and now it didn't.
Now
I feel like the weatherman that's always wrong.
Okay. I don't watch the news very often because I don't have time. And sometimes I check on my watch and try to figure it out. And then other times I'm like, whatever happens, happens. So, all right, that's the latest on the weather. Local events. I don't think we have anything for local events yet. Yeah. And police report, 21 total calls. Seems a little light, which is nice.
They didn't post for, what's today? So they didn't post Wednesday night through Thursday morning.
Okay, so here I thought crime was down, but
no, it's just one day.
Just behind, okay.
Yeah.
4 traffic calls, 3 warrant arrest, 2 for suspicious activity, 2 sex offender registrations, and then a bunch of single calls. Nick pulled out the highlights for us. Public service call in Washington. Caller requests assistance entering her residence. 102 attempted to assist. She had the wrong key. She was advised to make contact with the landlord and get a new key. It's a good idea.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
I like it when there's a resolution. Iowa City call, maybe found a wallet.
Maybe.
Another call, Carlos O'Kelly's, a dine and dash, someone stole a plate.
They really...
So they picked up their plate.
And walked out.
Kind of. That's a bold move.
I was going to say,
I kind of want to know, what else happened. Then what? Did they chase him down?
Well, those are kind of nice plates at Carlos O'Kelly's. So, they're the big, sturdy, red ones. So, I don't know.
Were they more worried about the plate or the $15 bill and the tab?
Yeah, probably.
Now I'm hungry. Another call in Iowa City. Large amount of high school age kids in the building on the first floor of the food court. RP ADV, they aren't going to deal with this today and wants them all removed.
I think we've all been there.
RP advised, I see.
Yeah, reporting part. I think they just, I respect it. They didn't want to deal with it, and they called the police about it.
Wow, that's funny. And then the last one says, ref the planets in the sky.
I think they want a reference about the planets in the sky, which I don't think is a 911 call.
Right, I feel like they should be...
a Google search, maybe?
I feel like they should be given a ticket for that.
They really want to know what planets were in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's great. All right. Well, hopefully that gave everyone a Friday morning laugh. Some of those calls. That's all we have for police report and weather. We'll be back soon to talk to Don Kline with Friends of Lake Darling.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross, Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
Hey, what do cows read the most? Catalogs.
Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your guest host, Diana Rich, joined in the studio by Don Kline, a board member of Friends of Lake Darling. Good morning, Don.
Good morning.
How are you?
Pretty good, I think.
Good. All right. Well, fun fact about Don. I was his neighbor when I was little, so I've known Don my whole life. So I was born in Washington and not in the house next door to him, but known Don my whole life. I won't tell you how long that's been, but you can guess a long time. So anyways, so I was excited to get to talk to you today.
Good.
So tell me a little bit about Friends of Lake Darling. What is that organization? How is it made up of? I know it's a nonprofit organization.
It's a group of volunteers, and we have probably around 60 members, but there's a board that does most of the governing of the projects, and there's probably 15 or 20 active members when we have a project and need something done. But the idea is that you got the state parks. They like to have a friends group, local group that can, in effect, raise money to do projects at that particular park. So that's the objective of the Friends of Lake Darling.
Yeah, that's great. When did the Friends of Lake Darling start?
Well, it'd been the early 2000s.
Okay.
I think about 2003, the park shop needed a roof. And so the Friends were just getting organized. And so they got up on that roof and shingled the roof. That was kind of the first project.
Okay, so 20-year anniversary this year?
Yeah.
All right,
that's right.
awesome. So you mentioned how many members you have. Is that donors, or is donors separate than a member?
Yeah, they do both. But
Okay.
you can purchase a membership.
Okay.
And we get a lot of people that do that, these 60 people. But most of them are donors when we have a project that we need the matching funds.
Okay.
A lot of those people will be donators too, so
Yeah.
it's kind of the same thing.
Okay. Very good. So tell me about some of the projects that you guys have done at Lake Darling. I was looking at the brochure, and you guys have done a lot of things. I think most people probably don't realize the effect that you've had at that park.
Yeah, the big ones you see, of course, are the lodge. That was a major project about 2008.
Okay.
Probably took a couple of years to get it done. But we got a big grant from the casino, and we had quite a few donors, and got that going. The original idea was it was going to be just an open shelter.
Okay.
And then everybody got to planning, and they thought there's money available to do a bigger project. So it developed into probably close to a $700,000 project.
And that's such an awesome facility. I've
Yeah.
been to bridal showers before, and church in the park, and lots of different things. What a nice facility.
It brings a lot of people in
Yeah.
to see the park. And then the cabins, the 6 all-season cabins, were the next big project. But we've done lots of other smaller projects. There's a causeway bridge there now. They built a causeway, a silt basin in the upper part of the lake, and of course that was open because you could boat through there. Well, they wanted to extend the trail, so the Friends bought a bridge and gave it to the state park and installed it there. So now there's a causeway, and then the next project was, well, if you got that, you want a paved trail over it. So you get a project going to put a paved trail on. So just one thing kind of adds to another, but trails are a big thing.
Yeah, very good. You give a mouse a cookie, the mouse wants a glass of milk, right? It just keeps adding. Yeah. So, and I've heard great things about those cabins. I didn't realize that was a project of Friends of Lake Darling. So how does that work? So you envision what, they need cabins, or do they come to you and say, we need cabins, and then you plan it out, you raise the money, and then here you get 6 cabins? I mean, tell me what that looks like.
Yeah, you've explained it fairly well. I mean, between the parks people and the DNR, the DNR parks people and the Friends, we're always in contact, and they have some projects. Cabins became a big thing. They put in 5 smaller cabins several years ago, probably in the early 2000s, and they were popular. Mm-hmm. And the idea was, you want something better because there were other cabins around the area that people rented, and so they asked the Friends, could you, put together a project? Sure, we can.
Yeah. And
so they have engineering and planning stuff, so they do a lot of that engineering work and getting the plans and what would be needed and a good estimate of what it might cost. Mm-hmm. And then we try to go get those funds. And a lot of our major funds come from the casino, like you might imagine. Yeah. But we have individual donors too that give us several $1,000s a piece to be the front money for the grants. And so you just put it together. It's amazing how they come together. Yeah. Because like you say, it's a big project, but you can put that much together in a local state park.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And it's got to be rewarding for those of you that are on the board to see these ideas come to life. And those cabins, they get booked out. Like, I mean, I've looked before. I've been like, oh, it's May. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? No, like it's, I should have thought about that 6 months ago. So.
Yeah, same way with the lodge and the cabin. You got to get 6 months or a year ahead.
Yeah. So then you guys, created these, great things that bring people to the park, and then they're the state's property, and so this is additional revenue for the state park that they probably wouldn't have gotten before, right?
Yeah, they get we in effect turn it over to the state, so then they get to collect the fees and utilize that money as well. Yeah,
that's really awesome. I'm guessing a lot of people don't realize that. And then what about, you mentioned something about the boat rentals tell us how Friends of Lake Darling is involved with that.
A lot of people remember back, the state operated, boat rentals. You usually had a concessionaire, local person that did it. And what happened was at parks like Lake Darling, they couldn't make enough money to keep going. The concessionaire couldn't. So for several years there was no boat rental or anything going on at Lake Darling. And then of course the Friends, they decided, if the Friends would do it and manage it, with an agreement that we could take over that operation and Memorial Day to Labor Day, rent out the canoes and the paddle boats and the standing boards and all that.
Yeah. So do you guys hire the help for that?
Yeah.
And then what the money that comes in for that, then you keep and you reinvest in the park.
Right. We get the income from that, and we use that then for another project. We're always needing that money for grants. You need a certain percentage, so we're using that money. The other interesting thing about it is that we're hiring 4 to 6 local kids. So about half of our money we take in goes out to pay salary, which is kind of nice too.
Yeah, very cool, interesting. I was looking at the brochure, and you guys constructed the playground there also, right?
Yeah, that playground you see at the beach.
Yeah,
that was one of our. It's not a major dollar project, but it's a major project for the beach.
Yeah.
And see, the beach area and that lodge area, that's what they call day use. In other words, people are going to come kind of for the day.
Yeah.
And so that you're trying to do things along that line as well as the cabins and the campground area.
Yeah. Which, I mean, every time I've been to the lodge, my kids just, dart to the playground. So it's just kind of, that's great. And for people to use Lake Darling for day use, is there any cost for that or not?
No, there's no fee to get in the park. If you go camping, you have to pay a fee. But if you rent the lodge or the cabins, you're going to have to pay a fee. But use the beach and all the other stuff, picnic areas, it's open to anybody that comes in.
Yeah. Awesome. You guys are making a big difference down there at Lake Darling. So that's really awesome that you guys have all those things going on. We'll head to commercial break and then we'll talk more with Don a little bit more about Friends of Lake Darling and of course play the birthday game, which are you so excited about?
Sure.
All right.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your guest host, Diana Rich, joined in the studio with Don Kline, a member of the Friends of Lake Darling. And we've been learning about all of the ways that Friends of Lake Darling has positively impacted Lake Darling State Park, which is located in Brighton. It's such a nice attraction to have close to home, for sure. Speaking of Lake Darling and Friends of Lake Darling, how did you get involved? How, tell me about how you got involved.
Well, I worked for DNR as a fisheries biologist for 40 years, and our office was there, so we saw the park a lot.
Yeah.
And we interacted with the park's people as well. And what was it, 2007 that I retired, and right away the friends grabbed me and said, you have to help us out. So since that time, I've been on the board and trying to work with the projects.
That's great. And you guys have done the whole Friends of Lake Darling has done a lot of things in their 20 years of existence, it sounds like. Tell me how did Lake Darling State Park get named?
Well, it's after Ding Darling.
Okay.
Now, most people nowadays won't know about Ding Darling, but up until the 1950s, he was a very important conservationist. Now, he was a national cartoonist that lived in Des Moines. And he was a half political cartoonist and half conservation cartoons. Now and like you see in the cartoons, a lot of them had a message, and he did about conservation. So, and he was on the national level, was a great conservationist. So at that time they were building new lakes. Lake Darling was one of the lakes. Who knows how it got named after him?
Yeah.
But he actually came to the dedication in 1950, and I think he died in about 1954. So he was an older person by that by that time.
So did he come to, the grand opening or whatever you mentioned about it because he knew it was named after him, or it wasn't named after him yet?
Oh yeah, it was already named after him.
Okay.
They had it back at the dam. There's pictures of the crowd at the time, and they had a marching band and the whole thing.
Yeah. Huh. Very cool. Well, I had heard of Ding Darling, and I mean, I know that it's called Lake Darling, but yeah, that's interesting. So, if people want to get involved with Friends of Lake Darling, how can they get involved, or what would your message be to people who enjoy the things that are down there and think, oh, maybe I could help them out? Or
Yeah, we need more volunteers. I mean, you can always use more volunteers because 10 or 15 people, get a little bit worn out
Burn
over
out,
time,
yeah. Yep.
and you need we need young people. That's for sure, because several of us are older now, and we need to turn it over to a new group. But we generally get people who have been familiar with the park, probably as young people. They went to the park, and they're older now, and then we say, "Are you really interested?" Yeah, okay, we got a job for you.
Very good. How often does the board meet, or the members meet?
Well, it's once a month.
Okay.
We meet, and you're talking over the projects, and how you're gonna fund it, where you're gonna get the money. And of course, we have to operate the boat ramp, so we have to decide rates and all that as well. So there's lots of kind of small committees going on to try to keep the thing going.
Yeah. Can you give us any intel on any upcoming projects that you guys are working on?
Well, yeah, our latest one is a concrete extension of that trail.
Okay.
It went over the causeway, and now it's going to go up to a parking lot. So there'll actually be a concrete trail. You can make a big circle. You have to use a little bit of the park roadway, but you can go from the campground, clear along the lake, clear back around, take the roadway back over to the campground on a cement trail.
Oh, awesome.
When we get that done. So that's it, and they've got the final grade done. They'll do the cement work this spring, and it'll be done.
Okay, so you have the funding, the projects in the works.
Yeah, we've
It's
already
gonna be done soon.
given the money to DNR. They actually get the contractor and pay the money.
Okay.
on this
What's
one.
the distance? Do you know what the distance of that trail is, or that
Oh,
path?
it's probably 0.6 of a mile,
Okay.
right, on that particular portion.
Very good. Won't be too long until you guys can hold like a 5K out there or something.
Yeah.
All right. Any other projects or any other information you want to share with people?
The big projects in the future, and who knows how long it'll take us to do it. They want to do a lot of work in the campground, like maybe pave the spots,
Yep.
put in new electricity, new sewer, new water, and it's basically up in that part that's up by the prairie. There needs more work, so that's a big project.
Constantly improving things
right.
and getting them up to date.
Yeah.
How many camping spots are there right now at Lake Darling?
I think there's 80.
Okay.
There used to be a few more, but when they redid the lake back about 10 years ago now, they cut some of them out, but they made them better quality.
Yeah. All right. Last question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How's the fishing at Lake Darling?
Well, I think it's great,
Okay.
but not every day that I go.
You never know, right?
But yeah, since they renovated the lake, it's been really good.
Okay. So you go fishing a lot, but not always catching.
Right.
Okay. But you always have a fun time.
Oh yeah. I keep going back.
Very good. Well, thanks to Friends of Lake Darling for providing all of these great resources to bring people to the area and keep people local. I know my son has gone there. Both of my kids have gone there for field trips and have done some neat things. I went with them on one occasion, and like I said, I've been to the lodge several times, and it's definitely a nice area to visit. So. All right, moving on. It's National Soup It Forward Day.
Yeah, you're supposed to make a soup and then give it to someone.
Wow, that sounds nice. So, where's my soup, Nick?
I didn't know until I got here. I'm sorry. Actually, I might have actually made soup.
All right, well, I'll be here Monday, so I'll take it then.
Might be cold.
All right,
Are you ready for the birthday game?
ready or not?
Okay, so to explain the rules, I'm going to put a celebrity whose birthday is today on the screen. You have to guess their age. If you're within 3 years, you get a point. If you get it right on, you get 2 points. And the first celebrity we have, that's a little too zoomed in, is pop singer Camila Cabello. Not as hip as
All
it used to
right.
be.
I feel like I should know her, but I don't. Do you want me to guess first, Don?
Sure.
All right. 23.
Oh my, I'm going to say 29.
You guys both get a point. She's 26.
All right, we
You
were
guys
right in the
split
middle.
1-1. Next up, we have Jessica Biel, another actress and I think model. Couldn't tell you what movie she's in, but
All right, let's go 38.
No, she's got to be a little older than that. She's got to be 44.
you guys have done it again. She is 41, so you guys both get a point being splitting the gap one again. So we're 2-2 going into the final celebrity, which is Julie Bowen from Modern Family.
All right, well,
Let's go.
57. No idea.
Oh, gosh, that's close to what I was going to do. I'm going to say that she is 59.
She is actually 53, so we're going to end in a tie,
Oh,
2-2.
tie, all right. Good game, Don. Is that your first time playing the birthday game?
Oh, yeah.
All right, you did pretty good. All right, well, do you have any birthdays you want to share today, Nick?
You weren't here when I finally remembered whose birthday I was supposed to remember.
Was it your mom's?
No, it was my brother-in-law Miguel, who was from Washington. So that's why I was like, I need to say it on air because it's
right.
Miguel Andrade. But I gave him that shout out last week, I think.
I didn't look at my Facebook to see whose birthdays it was today, but I do know my friend Suzanne Horak had a birthday yesterday, and my friend Megan Hamilton has a birthday today. And also have some friends, Michaela and Jason, celebrating an anniversary today too. So, yeah, we're going to go out to dinner and
Eventful
celebrate
day.
that. All right. Well, I think that's all we have for this show today. As always, thanks for joining us on Washington Live. Please make sure to like, follow, and share. And if you have any suggestions for people you'd like to see on the show or learn more about, make sure to share in the chat below or email washalive@gmail.com. And I'm your guest host, Diana Rich, and I hope you have a great weekend.